What up, Chicken Nuggets? I want to talk to you today about giving away a Grail card in the 3-year journey to getting it back. Not it specifically, but as close as we can get to it. So let's jump into that intro, and then I'll take you there. Why do I sing? I don't know. I gotta stop. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Not even a little bit. Not even at all. Don't know why I did that. That got so weird. Okie dokie. So let me start here. Let me start on the story of how I had to give away a true gold 10 of my favorite player in the NBA. Probably my favorite player of all time. Sorry, Steph. Sorry, MJ. I love this dude. He's great, and I've just keep collecting his stuff. He is my number one favorite collect. And so there's a young player named of Jordan Anthony Poole. And he was like one of the first players I started collecting when I got back into collecting. I loved MJ. I loved Steph. But their cards were real expensive. And so he was a young player, just came into the league. I liked the Warriors. I started buying up his stuff. Okay. And so I'm sitting there and, then he started doing really well, got into the, rotation. Steph was out for the last 20 games of the 2022 season. And so JP stepped up. He was averaging over 20 a game in his third year in the NBA and doing really well. And then, as many of you would never forget because you love Jordan as much as I do, when it hit the playoffs that year, it was the year they ended up winning it all. Spoiler alert. And the first 3 games, Steph, coming off an injury, came off the bench the first 2 games. And JP averaged over 30 a game in his first 3 playoff games. It was I think he had 30, 29, and 31. It was incredible. And he was just cooking. And then playoffs went on. He was one of the most important pieces, probably the second or third best player, depending on how you rank Wiggins and how he guarded some of the best players. But it was a really great series. And it was really fun to watch. And in the middle of that, I had been collecting for a year or two, and I got my first company that ever wanted to collaborate with me. And they were lovely. It was really cool of them to see me and want to not say invest, put money towards what I was trying to build. And again, I just use any collab money to buy more cards. By the way, broke even. I am now not in the negative because I just broke even from a collab I did with eBay that helped me put me over because I was a good chunk in the hole. Anyways, so I'm sitting there in that company. They'd done a couple collabs with me, and they wanted to do something, for the, to celebrate their customers. And they were using me. I was one of the few people they were collabing with. And so they sent me a box of 2019 Prism Hobby. And this is I'm talking Zion, Ja, they're the big names from it. But they sent me that because they wanted to send a couple boxes of the Warriors because the Warriors had just won. And so they sent me that, and they sent me a 2009 box, Steph Curry rookie year. It wasn't anything crazy, but not the super fractors in there. But they sent me those 2 boxes, and I was going to open them up, and they were doing random giveaways to people that had spent money on their app. And the company's called Drip, by the way. They were they're Whatnot. I think they do more Pokemon stuff. But anyway, so they sent me those boxes, and I just did the giveaway. I don't know if they paid me. I don't think they paid me anything for that. I was just doing it because, I'm trying to work with the company and hopefully lead to more gigs, more collabs. And so I was yeah, I'll do it. And so I'd randomly select. It was the first time I ever went live, by the way. First hobby box I'd ever opened, and the first time I'd ever gone live on a streaming thing to sell, which I was really just giving the packs away. And so I'm sitting there, and they've got their list of names. I do a random thing, pick the name, and then I open the pack. We're going through. We got a base Steph Curry rookie. It's I think it was a $50 to $100 card, and a couple others, and then we get into the Prism box. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just gonna say this. Rewind to the 90s when I was collecting cards. I don't even recall knowing that what a Michael Jordan rookie card looked like. Okay, social media wasn't around. I did do Beckett's, but it wasn't I was just checking off Beckett's for cards I collected. I wasn't looking at these expensive cards. So I didn't know a ton about cards that weren't, $88 sets that I'm trying to collect with my dad. And so I just didn't know a ton about them. And so I'm rolling through, and I say that to say I didn't even know those expensive cards existed because they weren't in my vision. Now, fast forward to, a few years ago when I was doing this, I did not know the level in which the hobby held true golds out of 10. It's honestly, y'all, and I do this as somebody who buys a bunch of stuff golds and true golds. I try to, of my favorite players. And from y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure most true golds out of 10 go for higher than like a black gold out of 5 or out of 8, which is a lower number. You'd think, oh, it's more rare, goes higher. True golds go higher. It's like just one of those cards that is highly respected in the hobby. And it's like only one person can own the Black 101 Prism, but 10 people can own this true gold. And it's just become this piece that is just like, I don't know, it's just like this clean, pure piece of gold. I know it's cardboard, but it's a piece of gold and people view it super high. I did not know that. Okay. So again, first hobby box. So like I'm only buying cheap stuff. Like I'm only buying affordable cards, nothing over like probably 50 to 100 bucks at most. And so I open up this pack for this giveaway and I open up a Jordan Poole true gold out of 10. I did not know it was gold. I saw it and I was like, oh gosh. Again, didn't know the level of true gold. It is my favorite player. I open it up, I show it on there, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then people in the chat are going crazy. And I look at it, and this is after JP's huge playoff run when they won with the Warriors. I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is incredible. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so I get to give it. And that person wasn't in the live stream. And so I had to reach out to the company. I was like, hey, can you give me his contact info so I can, get in hold of him? So I'd already sent off everybody else's because I had their stuff. And so I had to reach out and I texted this guy and I'm texting him, back and forth. And I've shared some of this before. And I've texted him back and forth and he's not, he was really excited about the card. He's like, oh my gosh, it's a big card. I don't do this on basketball. And I like tried to buy it from him. It's like, if I can afford it, I'd love to buy it. And he was like, oh, I'm going to grade it. It looks pretty centered. And then he said he was going to hit me back after he got it graded. But then after that, he goes to me. And he was like, oh, if it tens, I'm going to sell it and I'll get you some really cool Warrior stuff. And anyway, it doesn't matter. He goes to me after that. I think he was just being nice to make sure I mailed it to him. I'm like, bro, I wouldn't have reached out to you if I wasn't going to mail it. So I mailed it to him. And then the rumor I heard was that he sold it. I think it either PSA 9 or BGS 9.5. And he sold it at the National for like $13,000. It's insane. So I couldn't have bought it for that anyways. So it's probably a good move on his part. Anyways, so I'm sitting there and I'm just trying to get this card. And I missed it. And it went on a couple of auction sites that I didn't know. It was numbered 8 out of 10, by the way. That was the number, the one I pulled. And it's like that card is like, I want to own. If I'm talking one specific card, like I want to own that card. But also I've gotten into collecting. I've gotten into collecting Jordan Poole golds, and so I pick up a lot of his gold cards, gold scope, gold fast break. I try to pick up his gold cards, and that's one of his cards because I need to narrow down. But I also am trying to collect a lot of that 270. It's not 2019 Panini Prism. He's numbered 272 in the set. I'm trying to collect as many of those as I can. Well, one finally pops up. It pops up maybe once on like a random auction site, like once a year, and it popped up. I'm tracking it. I'm watching it. And I was sitting there and I went in and I was waiting on my daughter to come out of dance practice. And I went high because it was like in the I think it was like $1,500, $2,000 range with like 20 seconds left. And I'm like, I'll just go $2,000 over. Like I'll go for it. I'm like, what number would I be okay with? And, I told you I have a card budget. And so I go up and I bid, I think it was what was it? It was 3,900 and like $1. And like I was like just under, I was like after tax and shipping, I'm like right at 4K is what I'm trying to spend. And so I go in 3.9, whatever. Wait, it's doing the spinny thing on eBay. I lost by exactly 51. It was like 3,951. So it went exactly 50 over. And that means you got second, right? If it's like a weird number, if you put in a weird number and then it goes an exact amount above it, like, 1, 5, 10, or 50, you just barely lost. And I've assumed I was second in the loss. So I put a picture up and moved on. About a week and a half later, dude reaches out to me through a message, says, hey, the person who won this did not pay for it. Would you want to purchase it? It says you were second. First off, I don't even know how you can see who's second place. I was like, yeah, I want to buy it. And he was like, I'll do it for, I think he said 3,650. So it's a couple $100 less than what I was going to bid on it. Granted, after tax and shipping and everything, it landed right at 4K, which I know is a lot for a JP card. And I know in the comments, and by the way, here it is. If you're on the YouTubes, here it is. It is gorgeous. I love it. It's number 5 out of 10. Again, mine's 8 out of 10, which I still will try to own my 8 out of 10, but I love having it. I put it inside of this Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole he had a Nike shoe released. It's a GT Cut 3, and he signed that for us at the last game. But I kind of put it in there. That's where I show it off. I leave it right there. I love it. I don't regret it. You know, some cards you buy, especially cards for that much, you're just like, I don't know if I regret it. But I tell this story to say, like, whenever I posted about getting the card, a lot of people were like, oh, that sounds like a shill bid. That person had a buddy shill bid it, and then they're, you know, whatever. It wouldn't have been worth that much, etc. And I know shill bidding is a huge topic right now in the hobby. I think that we as collectors, yes, it hurts when people like cheat you out of extra money, or they make something worth more than it shouldn't, or either make you pay more. And it does, and I've said it in that last pod we did a couple weeks ago, it does erode trust in the market. But you, in the end of the day, you have to sit back and think, what would I pay to own this card? I know that there's a chance that thing got shill bid up. Okay. Somebody, for fun fact, somebody did reach out to me in the DMs and they said they actually bid. I think they were like third or fourth. They bid just like 50 to $100 less than me on what I bid on it that first time. And they seem legit. Unless this person, after I'd already bought it, hired somebody to pretend that they actually tried to buy it. So all it took was me and him, and we got it up there, like to that number. Like, it's not a $2,000 card because two of us are willing to pay that. And there are a couple JP collectors that I've connected with over the years, like JP Life, Michael. I bought some True Gold, or not True Gold, some Black 101s from him. He's a great dude. Anyways, there are some JP collectors that'll pay big money for Jordan Poole cards. So Jordan Poole does have a market. And again, in this comp game, it only takes like 2 cards for something to have a high value. We see that in high-end auctions. Like, not everybody's going to bid $10 million for a dual logo man. But if 2 people are willing to, that card's not worth that much. And then once one person drops out of that, we see a drop. We saw this recently with, what was that card? It was the Babe Ruth, I think 1917 Babe Ruth. The exact same card that sold for, I want to say like $7 million, sold for like just over $3 million, like half. You got to think of it. The person that won it was bidding at somebody. And again, I'm assuming a lot here. They're bidding at somebody and they bid up to the $7 million because they're fighting each other for it. And then that top person wanted to sell it. I would assume that person that got second, unless they lost all them funds or lost the interest, they're the ones that won it, but they're not bidding against that. That last $3 million was just 2 people apparently bidding against it, we can assume. Whenever you're buying these cards, yes, shill bidding and this whole system can be scary, especially if you're the one left holding the bag. You're the one left overpaying for a card because you want to resell in the future. The cards that I don't have the regret for whenever I'm like, what if it's shill bid? What if somebody marked? Yes, it hurts a little, but it feels a little better when in my mind I think, I don't care if they're a real bid or not. I want that card for that amount of money. That falls into the category of what I will pay for that card. And so whenever you're buying stuff, yes, be careful, be very aware, do your research, especially if it's something you're buying to resell in the future, you're buying in the off season because you want to sell during the season, whatever. That you got to be more careful because you want to sell. But when you're looking at your PC cards, have that number, whether it's legit bid, shill bid, whatever, have a number you're willing to pay for that card and have that, and then like know that you're okay with that, even if you never sell it. Like I don't plan on ever selling it. Maybe I will if I ever get that 8 out of 10. Maybe I'll sell this card in the future. But until I own 2 of them, I will not sell one of them. So I'm okay with that number. And so, and again, my kid likes Jordan Poole. He's always been super kind to him too. Maybe he'll just want to keep one of them. So I think that's the mindset I have. When I look at a card and I'm in an arena that I'm like, could this be a shill bid? Think of like, what would I pay for it? And is it for me or is it for me to sell? So those are my thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever had this happen to you? You ever gotten a card where you're going in and you suspect maybe somebody's bidding it up, or you miss out on a card, but then it comes back like a dove you set free and it comes back to you. It comes back to you. So, hey, Chicken Nugget Nation, we're growing. We had Zach. It was just me and Zach hanging out because we mentioned it once and Zach was super cool. We've got a few new people in it. And if you don't know what Chicken Nugget Nation is, it's our Patreon group. Doing some cool stuff, trying to grow that community and build it up. We got my kids practicing piano. Super inopportune time, but you know, people don't care when dad's filming anything. So we got some new ones. Chris, I don't want to ruin it. Chris Kreminger, shout out Chris. Casey Miller, Ryan Bruder, Kevin Kyles, Quiles, Evan Hasty, Cody Bushell, Josh Stewart, and then Zach. Thank you guys so much. We're growing. Chicken Nugget Nation. If you want to join, it's sportscardsaredope.com. I'm doing a giveaway. This is a 3-week giveaway. It's my little Christmas giveaway. It's going to increasingly get more, and all you got to do is be a part of it. It's sportscardsaredope.com. It's like, I don't know, $3 a month or $30 a year, I think. But if you want to be in it, super fun group, super cool. Been chatting in the comments on there. This is what we're giving away. I'm giving away some of my favorite players because I got extras, and I was like, I want to give it away because I don't want to just give away stuff I don't want. I'm going to give away stuff that matters to me because this group matters to me. So I'm giving away 3 Jared McCain Prism Silver rookies, starting with a PSA 8, which I think is like a $10 to $20 card. Then we're going to a PSA 9, which I think is like a $30 to $40 card. And then I'm giving away a PSA 10. I'm going to do it 1 week after another over the next 3 weeks. So if you want to have a chance to win the 8 this week, just join the Chicken Nugget Nation. Chicken Nugget Nation, baby! And that's at sportscardsaredope.com. And then next week we'll do the 9, and then the next week for hopefully it'll be right before Christmas, we'll do the PSA 10, which I think is like a couple $100. Maybe 150, 200. I have to look it up. I haven't seen any recent comps, but giving those away to Chicken Nugget Nation. Also, sorry I was gone for like a week and a half. My family and I went to Disney, Universal. Had a blast. In the comments, let me know your favorite ride. My favorite's Hagrid's Motorbike because I'm obsessed with Harry Potter. But I also rode that Velociraptor ride at Universal with my daughter. It's insane. And then if I'm picking Disney, probably going Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just a smooth ride. I really like it. So let me know in the comments your favorite ride. And thank you to Chicken Nugget Nation. I love you guys, and hoping to keep growing that community. And if you're just watching or listening for free, I appreciate you. And hopefully you're listening to my wife and son play and sing piano, baby. Thank y'all so much for listening. Y'all be good. Stay sweet. Never stop collecting. Sports cards are dope, and so are you. We're back, baby. We're back. We back, baby. The boys are back. High School Musical. Which one? Tell me in the comments. Y'all be good.